Welcome back to the Unshakable Soul Talk. Pop, pop, pop. We fucked up again. Welcome to the Unshakable Soul Podcast. My name is Sofia Masikat, and I'm your host here on the show. We are on episode 77, and I'm really excited to have this conversation with Anastasiia. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Sophia. Let's start.
Yes. Let's begin. Let's dive in. I want to give somebody, or these people, or these listeners, a backdrop of who you are. But you know what? I was going to mention it, but I'm just going to let the mic go to you right now that you can introduce yourself in the way that feels good.
Thank you so much. My name is Anastasiia. I'm somebody who is inviting people into the world of dance, into somatic practice. I organize women retreats, women circles. I prefer the work with women at the moment. I'm also a massage therapist and work in the spa right now. So I'm really deeply connected to the body, to everything that is about dance. Dance is a medicine, and this is at the moment is the biggest message that I'm sharing. It may be changing during periods and during the year. As I tend to go to different places and projects, but for now, movement and also voice has become a new doorway that I am channeling right now. So I'm grateful to be here and share some seeds that I've discovered about our embodiment. And yeah, grateful to be here. Thank you, Sophia, for organizing this. This is important that we get the voice to be heard, to be sharing this, to be sharing our wisdom, and yeah, support each other. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. Thanks for agreeing to come on. And this is definitely something that I've realized throughout the past 5 years working with women. It's the potency in us sharing our story, and realizing that there's a common denominator and a thread that weaves through all of those various stories that share the same messaging with different characters.
Mm.
So, thank you for being here, and I want to invite you to share your story in the depths that you want to take it to kickstart this conversation. But I first want to lay the land of what this chat is really going to be about. Again, it's going to flow, it's going to be very organic. That's how I like to keep it. But what I want to bring through, and the reason why you're here, is for your craft, for your artistry, tapping into the thematic of sensuality. Sensuality as a homecoming, especially for women. And weaving into that the power, as you mentioned, of dance, of wild expression, of authentic expression, and this deeper reclamation of the feminine. What does that even mean? And reconnection to our own bodies, to the oracle.
Mhm. Okay.
So, just that for a thematic. This could get pretty deep.
Sophia also gets all of that, so we are just really connected on this topic. For me, the world of dance and actually exploration of this life started when I was pretty young. I was 14, and I started having all of this life crisis, existential crisis, to be honest, because I realized that all of that people are telling me to do, I don't feel is right for me, but I also don't know what is right for me. And I started going into meditation and yoga, practicing breath work. And I came to Canada 3 years ago. And I sat down and I was alone. I was devastated that I don't have people who understand me. I feel lost in another country. I'm alone. I was very doing unwell, to be honest. That was, yeah, not a beautiful picture to see, but um my first ecstatic dance happened the month after I sat down and I prayed that I want to be um how to say that, surrounded by the community of like-minded people. And the month after I went to my first ecstatic dance experience, that honestly changed my life. There's it changed my life because it was absolutely shifting the perspective of how we can be, what is normal, how we can express, how what is the range of my expression, how much I can allow myself to express. There were people who were lying on the floor and shaking. Some people were like yelling and screaming like monkeys. I was standing and I felt like my body is frozen. I cannot move because all the mental stuff, all the mental programming that I had is keeping my body feel frozen. So I was trying to move. That's why I understand everybody who is coming to ecstatic dance for the first time, because I know what it is. You're always in your mind. Here you're being allowed to just leave the mind for a second and just embrace the music, embrace the rhythm, and here you feel this shock, and of course that's normal. But this has been the journey that I was attending and being a part of and creating more and more for women, for everybody. Right now, we have a new ecstatic dance in Ottawa, and it's been the ritual, the ceremony that each time has opened up my expression more and more with the right mindset. So every time I was stepping on the floor, I would ask myself, how deeply can I allow myself to express? Because honestly, this dance floor became the representation of life, the way how we operate in our lives, in our routines, how we interact with others, how we represent ourselves, how we take up the space or we keep it, you know, keep it close to ourselves and we cannot really expand because we think we are too much. And all of those programs started rising up as you dancing. So basically, you're doing the shadow work while you're shaking your booty on the dance floor. And this has become such an awakening experience because you physically can find those places, can find those tensions in your body, and you can map it on your body, right? And you can release them. Ecstatic dance is a social place. I also practice this alone when I can, at work, in the washroom. I dance everywhere, baby, everywhere, because there's so many energies, interactions, thoughts, opinions about how we should be. And movement and breath is the path to stillness for us to just keep it clear. And I'm saying this also to myself. I'm also on this journey every day. It's been deepening and deepening, and yeah, ecstatic dance floor is a representation of life, how we, I believe, how we operate. Can we take up the space? Can we allow ourselves to expand? Can we allow ourselves to express? And the magic is that everybody actually has enough space to do that. There is always enough space for everybody to speak, to dance, always.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's been magical.
I love it. There's so many golden nuggets in what you mentioned and rabbit holes that I can take as gateways in. But yeah, I just want to honor that story that you shared from that vulnerable moment of arriving to Canada, new place, don't know a soul, and having the courage to put yourself in a situation that, yes, you called it in, you prayed, right? You mentioned that. But when you were there, you clearly mentioned you froze. So I like to call that like a threshold moment. I'm all about thresholds because that's really where you notice if somebody's going to come back into the same loops and patterns and shrink back, or are they going to allow themselves to dance on that threshold and stay there long enough to actually experience the medicine in the threshold. So
Yes.
I'd love to dive a little more into that experience. Like, what what could you share about that threshold moment? And I mentioned this too because, as I guide women on their own threshold, this is what I noticed. The nervous system is keeping us safe from what we actually want. In that moment that you were on that dance floor, like, what was the shift that happened?
Mhm. So for me, the shift happened actually not in one day. It was a repetitive experience I had for quite the time. I would say a few years, to be honest. It took me, and it continues expanding. So it's not, I don't know if there's always like if there is a point B where we will come because we're limitless, right? There's always more to unravel. But for me, it was safe space, safe person to ask, is everything okay with me? Because I feel like I want to move my hips. Also, I started feeling like that fire, that like sexual life force energy. And I was like, am I safe to even like, I don't know, like do a little bit of innocent movement? She was like, just keep breathing, just keep doing as you feel safe right now, because we need time for that to stretch ourselves, right? I do believe that we can quantum jump like this, and it happened in my life where I was like, whoa, I've been praying for this for like years, and it happened in one day, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm actually ready for this physically. So I feel like for the body to receive what we want, we need time and practice. And I would say discipline. I would say discipline in terms of devotion, that I understand why, and I keep practicing in creative space for myself, even at home, whenever I can.
Devotion. Highlight this word. Anybody listening to this, whether you're a man or a woman, devotion I find has like a more inviting connotation than discipline. Discipline to me comes from the back, like somebody's pushing you. Gotta be disciplined. Devotion feels like a pull from the inside, like your heart's pulling you forward. But what you're speaking to is also to the consistency. Like, and I love it that you mentioned this. It wasn't a one done, like, I had one threshold moment and then I went past it and boom, now I'm like shaking my butt. Like, maybe for some it is, but like, for a lot of the times, as you mentioned, the body is like, it houses all your fucking wounds from this lifetime and past. And of course, it houses your wisdom too. But it has to feel like you have to work with it, like meet yourself where you're at. So having that daily devotional practice, the hip movements first thing in the morning, when you're walking, that check in with yourself. I call it living in your own rhythm. Like, how often in this modern day society, anyways, are we living in this way that's like rushing and chaotic and linear and you just gotta keep on going? What do you
Mhm.
mean you want me to relax and surrender to the music?
Right,
So
right.
this is beautiful in that you've created this flow to your daily life that allows you to tap in to your feminine juice.
I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best. Winter time keeps me wanting to just lay down or just lay down, sing, sleep. Yeah, it's totally true. But whenever I can, I try to implement, and I feel like the practice happens. I think that's the yoga path, right? It's not only on the yoga mat, maybe you can share more with me, is not only in the yoga studio, is everywhere we go. So if I feel the tension and I got triggered by something, and if I have time and space for that to alchemize it or like look deeper, even if I'm in the bus, no matter what, like I can do this work no matter where I am. So this is, I think, is our journey. I would like to speak more about expressing our sensuality in connection with the body, and what actually has shifted for me as a dance instructor, because I have some powerful things to share about that if you We can do that as well.
Yeah, let's go right in.
So it just calls me to share this with everybody, actually, that I had a moment where I've been working in the in the dance studio not a while ago and teaching dance to women. So we have our warm up, we have our dance choreography, we have all the support system, beautiful lights, but we don't have, something is lacking, and I don't see what. Because I see some women are deeply shaming themselves, deeply judging, deeply, you know, just trying to understand what is wrong with them when it's actually, the music is playing and we are just trying to enjoy. And I realized that sometimes this path is not working. Sometimes the path of performance is not working for us. And so the time has come, I've left that studio, and I decided to start practicing and actually offering more of kind of like somatic experiences, also for myself, one-on-one work and work in the group. Because the dance industry has shown us that we need to try to be something that we can't be. So sometimes it happens sometimes that we want to show and express how we actually don't feel. And I realized that I'm actually all about that. I'll better show how I feel, let it be ugly, but it will be real. But in this whole industry of performance, women can get trapped into thinking that I need to wear this, I need to dress up like this, I need to act like this. So that is called sensuality, or is called um, sexy and beautiful and attractive, when actually we are just putting on the masks on ourselves. So I think we're moving into the topic of embodiment. That, yeah, ecstatic dance is that ceremony part that we take off those masks, and it's deeply vulnerable and scary, even if you're doing this with yourself at your place in your house. You're facing those parts of yourself, and it's never easy, but it's a more profound journey to go inward. And the more we do that, the more actually we can access this life force energy, because we remove those blockages so that life force can run more freely. Our voice gets more open, our body gets more expressive, and we don't really care if people will judge us or not. We just simply become the embodiment of authenticity in the way how it wants to be. So I'm speaking to those who are willing to try out dancing, or are feeling like there's something wrong with them, or feeling like they need to fix themselves. We're perfect as we are. Come to dance with us.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you're speaking to like the prime wound for a woman, fear of being too much, fear of visibility, this, and a very, real fear that's written in our DNA essentially. But yeah, it's, the what you mentioned about taking off the masks and having that inner journey. Like, I guide women along the spiral path of awakening, the feminine path of awakening. You need to descend into your depths.
Mhm.
Shadow alchemy, mirror work. That truth rises. That's fucking, it looks like rage, it looks like grief, it looks like all of the above.
Yeah.
But the more you descend to your depths and reclaim all the pieces within yourself that you've denied and that you thought were bad, quote unquote,
Yeah.
the more you can rise and be a healing force, and your expression is no longer forced. So there has to be those two, right? I have to be able to be with myself in honesty and integrity and in truth and feel for me what is true right now before I can express myself authentically out there. Maybe you have another point of view on that, in that within the container, let's say, of a group dance experience, maybe more so an ecstatic dance when it's really free for all, I can be with myself and still show up externally
Mm-hmm.
and allow that energy to move freely instead
Mm-hmm.
of keeping it here.
Yeah, of course. It's kind of the test of how much, again, you can allow yourselves to express even though there are people around you. And the beauty of this process is that the energy that you embody while embracing yourself this way, you illuminate all areas of your life this way. So you go to workplace and you feel, oh, here I would have said the truth. I'm not okay with that behavior, or like I need the boundaries here. Or like you go, I don't know, create a project and you feel, okay, I have more space. I can allow myself to create something. And it's, man, I was thinking that all of this life is about like let me read another book. Let me find something outside. And I am sometimes still searching for the answers outside, which leads me back to myself. And it is true. And dance and music and movement is such a pleasurable also way sometimes, not always, way to come and connect with the depth. And the more we connect with the depth, the more pleasure we can access. The more pain we access, the more pleasure we access. So both of them are just supporting each other, and we should not be afraid of any of them. So they're both here for us to serve in divine union. Pleasure and pain is the way.
Yeah. And what I realized through my own journey is that pain can actually become pleasurable. Not in a masochistic, whatever that word is, way. Like, I know the people listening be like, no. Like, if you truly embrace pain and basically are present with it and feel it fully, it can become a current of eroticism.
Yes.
Eroticism, like literally, it's life force energy that's alive within you and that's liberating you
Yes.
from said fear that kept you suffering, basically.
Aliveness, bringing
Aliveness.
aliveness. You can cry and feel like, oh my God, this is so good that I feel.
Yeah.
There's so much more pain and stagnancy in being stuck and feeling, being afraid of feel. When you actually let yourself feel, when you let yourself feel, it's not as scary as we thought it is. And it's actually liberating and pleasurable. But we need to have that courage to go there and open up. But the rest will be divinely, cleansed, purify. It feels like we are talking about, profound psychedelic experience. This conversation seems like we are in the ceremony right now.
It's
Every
the
day.
messaging that wants to come through. Although I do want to bring it back to a not more practical level, but something maybe that's more easily digestible for the listeners in terms of like, okay, maybe I have a listener being like, this is interesting, but like, how the fuck does it relate to my life? You know, maybe I'm a mom with kids. I'm 40 years old. I don't have a lot of time. Maybe I'm also a 70-year-old woman or 60. I have no more kids. Maybe a bit less energy. And I have a lot of beliefs in my mind, maybe that, like, oh no, like, my sexuality is done. There's a lot of women I'm hearing. which is very sad, but I'm hearing that are just like, no, that was when I was young. That was when I was young. That's no longer relevant to me. I
Mhm.
have low libido now. I'm in menopause. And I also have women that are in menopause that are like, I want to fucking create and fuck. So you're getting a bit of two. So what do I want to share here? Or what do I want to open? What's the gate I want to open? Oh, yes. How does cultivating my eros and sensuality really impact my everyday life? Like, what would be the point of it?
I love this topic. Oh my God. This gives me life. This is the homecoming to me in my own reality, and I would love to share more about that.
Mm-hmm.
Firstly, I would say that our sexuality is not necessarily having a sexual act. This is not only that. Sexuality and sexual energy, if we will translate it to another word, it can be represented as creativity, as ability to birth something new, right? It's the energy that we have for us to manifest something. And so sexual living, like eroticism and erotic expression, it can be, for me personally, it can be represented as, creating safe space for me, decorating my place the way I feel like it is pleasurable for me, or painting, or the way how I can, I don't know, apply oil on my body, like the way how much I can feel. And presence for me is erotic. When I am very present, nature is erotic. Like if you could just look at the leaves when it's raining, don't you tell me you don't find it extremely sexy. Like it's beautiful. It is full of life force. It is vibrant. It is always, how come we are not that? We are that as well. We just need to access that. And I cannot speak to those women who are in their menopause, as I don't have the proper education for that. But I can say for those people who are willing to access more of that energy and live your life in this erotic way, it's just, yeah, feel everything. Let yourself feel everything. I guess this is the tantric way of living, when we let ourselves really feel. And again, the more we feel of the pain, the more we can access the pleasure, and to not be afraid of both. And for women as well, I think a beautiful way to connect with our eroticism is just self-touch. It's just self-touch is um soothing, regulating. Self-touch does not to have anything more than just that, but it is, you know, extremely valuable and healing tool for us to just tell ourselves that we are free, that we are safe, that we are, we are held, so that we can actually access more of that expression and start creating art, creating our projects, breathing more deeply. For
Mm-hmm.
me, one of my inspirations is that my friend, the way how she eats food, I look at this and I'm like, oh my God, like they're having, like, I'm just interrupting something very sacred here. Like, this is very sacred. The way how she just tastes everything, like she really enjoys this fully, and you can feel it, you can see it. I'm like, wow, you can eat food this way and get so much pleasure from that. This is so simple, but this is like life-changing. So, yeah, anything we do can be done with presence, a lot of presence, which accesses, gives us more of this life force energy. And dancing, of course, but I think we already spoke about this enough, so that, yeah, dancing activates our channels, activates our chi energy. If you practice qigong, or if you're familiar with any practices like this, They're very helpful as well. Or just connecting with your womb, connecting and like holding your hands there, just getting to know your energy, not being afraid of that, which is a big topic as well. Sophie, I think you would really support me on that. How to not be afraid of the power that we hold when we actually unlock it, right?
Another rabbit hole. Dare we go down? Yeah, no,
Hallelujah.
thanks for sharing this. This is key. Bringing it back to, I love this too, basics. And I thought that was important to really redefine what sexual energy is. Basically, your creativity, your vitality, your feminine power. Because we hear that word a lot now. It's like, what the fuck is it? It is your energy. That is it. But let us remember that your energy also lives in your thoughts, in your beliefs, in your words, what you speak. It's very, and it can cut really sharp. What are you feeding? Are you feeding the fear? Are you feeding the old system, old ways of being, old ways of moving, linear, rigid, gotta hold it all together? Oh, life's a burden. This is when you tap into, as Anastasiia was saying, like when you're tapping into this life force energy, this sexual energy that you have, you are not only like going to birth or making it. This is another belief, like, oh, women are only pleasurable objects and here to birth babies.
Oh,
No.
oh.
Sure, you can, if that's what's true for you. Like, hopefully you're not being forced into this. But you're also birthing new ways of living, new paradigms for humanity. Like that is why women are, I'm gonna say it, like the most valuable and precious. We're diamonds. Sorry, men. I mean, men are beautiful too. We need you. But let us remember that the diamond is shaped through pressure, right? So if you are a diamond and you're innately a queen, and so who tells me that my crown is somewhere else? Who tells me I have to go get my crown somewhere else? That I don't deserve it? Who tells me I don't deserve a life that is pleasurable, that is filled with wealth, whatever you want, joy, connection, presence, intimacy? Who tells me I have to wait until I retire, until I have no more kids? Like these are the beliefs I love to deconstruct and like blow up in people's faces, and let it blow up on themselves too. Over the course of time, the people have their own journey. It's not me to say like, look at this and then like change yourself. No. But as you're mentioning, the daily devotional practices, and when you allow yourself to even just have that little shift in perspective, it's like, oh, so what if I allowed myself to have a booty shake once a day? Example. Oh, it feels kind of good. And oh my god,
Mm-hmm.
my partner likes it too. And even if you don't have a partner, like it doesn't fucking matter. It's when you have to experience it for yourself. As Anastasia was saying, you are the medicine. You are the medicine. Nobody's going to give you the medicine. Sure, you can be inspired by communities and teachers, mentors, whoever it is that inspire you, that
Mm-hmm.
offer you a gateway, but a gateway where?
Yeah.
Not a gateway to heaven over there. It's back here. Like, and we're all here herp derping, just waiting for a better day to come. Dude, you are the better day if you choose to embody it. I'll let you riff on that.
So good. That is so good. Yeah, that's true. Just centering ourselves, I would say, every time we feel like we give energy to something else that is outside, and we find that our thoughts are constantly there, returning back. And this is a practice. I'm on this journey as well. It's been a long journey of me, you know, having connections that didn't serve me, that showed me that I don't actually value myself, having decisions that did not come from my, desire as well. So that all led me to come back to my own space and hold it and create from here. But yeah, learned by painful mistakes and heartbreaks, but it was all worth it, and I'm grateful for that. But it's fucking journey for so many women, and like, yeah, and like, love that you said that. Yeah, our pleasure is our pleasure, and it's not only about birthing babies, creating families. Like one priest, I went to one priest 5 years ago. I think it was 5 years ago. It's just like Christian priest who asked me, well, what sin do you want to, what are you guilty about? I'm like, well, I'm not being a good enough daughter. I feel like I'm not expressing my anger in a healthy way. Just true. And also I said, well, I said that I'm masturbating. And he said, well, you need to find a partner and birth babies. It's time. I was like, thank you.
And I'll never see you again.
Thank you. Never see you again. Never see you again because my pleasure is the way how I find and how I connect with myself to the parts of myself that the world told me that are sinful, that are dirty, that are unholy, that are not worthy, that are for somebody else, but not for yourself.
Mm,
Let me take it back. Let me take my body back. Let me know how sacred my space and my body is, my energy is. And also, let me choose, right? Let me choose what I want to do and create. So, this is the reclamation. And again, the answers outside are not always the right answers. But the amazing teacher is the one who leads us within. And I'm sure Sophia is leading amazing women circles, and I can tell Sophia is a powerful leader as well, the one who understands that as well. So yeah, thank you so much for this container. We are at this transformative point of the collective. Super interesting because I had one mushroom ceremony that showed me, like, when you're on mushrooms, there are no boundaries. You become pretty limitless. It's like, oh my God, I am all women, and all women are me. And it's not something I realized, it's just something that I remembered. And from that, all the work that we are doing, all the embodiment work that we are doing, all the voice liberation that we are doing, such as this example, the body reclamation, learning the boundaries, anything that you feel called to do, is having the ripple effect on the collective of the feminine in this world. And also men, the feminine is rising. We've been talking about this with Sophia, is that masculine is also getting to know their feminine part, and they're opening their hearts to feel again because they couldn't. They couldn't cry because it was, forbidden or judged. They couldn't be tender, and they didn't know that they can be safe in this. So we are all experiencing this
yeah.
rising, and yeah, I'm just being a reminder that our art and expression is super important right now, is probably the most important thing. Our soul expression, liberation, expansion is what actually helps to, stabilize the collective level. And yeah, our prayers are being heard. And yeah, pray for the world, for women. It is scary to see what is happening right now, but if we have the voices, if we have this opportunity to honor our body, to create, to have our safety, to create that safety, yes, I'm praying that it has the ripple effect and it inspires more and more women, And I would love to work with more women and dance and invite them into sacred circles like this. There are going to be red tents and more deeper, profound practices. I'm done with just performances. That was an experience, but right now is the time when we actually go inward within and do this beautiful work and can support each other as well while doing this.
Beautiful. I think you wrapped up the rabbit hole. The first rabbit hole, folks. There's gonna be many more, but really, you touched upon a very important element here, which is, am I safe to be here right now in my body? Am I safe to be in this environment and share my truth? Am I safe to move this way? Am I safe to say no? And am I safe to say yes to what truly is aligned with me? This is a daily practice, right? And you spoke to it as well. Yes, the feminine rises, the men or the masculine inevitably wants to support her. And here we're speaking of the energetics.
Mhm.
And it's very interesting because working with women, I've realized that I'm actually working with their masculine energy.
Mhm.
The containment of their Shakti, the safe space where she can play and reconnect with her own eros and aliveness and juice in her own safe space. Like, this is it, because if we are safe spaces for ourselves, we'll be safe spaces for others. Oh, and maybe we'll be safe spaces for men, which are, as you mentioned, and as I've been experiencing too, wanting to open up more and more about all the crap they've been through too. Let's not forget our men that have their own woundings of never feeling good enough. Right? So, it's a
Love you,
collective
man.
journey.
We love you, man. Yeah, I think that evolution is when men and women start to be supporting each other and like seeing each other deeply. But it requires us our own work first, so then we can actually, come together. Yeah, and everything that happens is not against each other, no matter what, is a journey of, you know, rising together. It is very messy, but it is very beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I hope, yeah, this year
Amen.
brings more beautiful couples, divine unions. We'll see how it goes.
Mhm.
Yeah, and just this journey of inner masculine and feminine. I love that you shared about this work that you're offering. Like, it's easier for us women to just, yeah, for some, we're all different. I would say for most part, is to be free flowing, um, creating Shakti energy, but actually having this container is another important part of that. So, yeah, appreciate your work. And yeah, inner Shiva Shakti. It was like we have both arms, right? This is the right arm for me, this is the left. They both represent polarities, and I can do this, and this is the divine union, and this is the prayer. And I was like, oh my God! Ah! I'm the one I've been looking for.
Uh,
My salt lamp is falling. Okay, okay.
yeah. Yeah. No, it's
Mm.
interesting. As you mentioned, it does depend on the woman. Some women have a very strong masculine, but maybe toxic and overbearing masculine, where I like to give the analogy of the riverbank and the water. Some women have very strong riverbanks with no water. There's no juice, there's rigidity in the body. Some others have overflowing water, emotional volatility, and no containment.
Yes, I know.
So when we look at these, you mentioned this left hand, right hand, I like to see it as the cross, right? The vertical cross, your masculine, how you can stand in your truth and walk tall and high and connecting to source. and rooting down with your fate in Mother Earth. This is you like walking in integrity, in alignment. And the feminine current opens her arms because she longs for connection. I open to connect. I open my heart. And this is very vulnerable. And people don't walk around like this. Well, maybe if you're like, you see little children which are walking around like this. But just the energetics of it, you can see somebody when they're closed, when they're like this, when they're over rigid and armored up. Like you can start noticing it. So feel for you. Again, this is so embodied. It's so embodied. Are you aligned? Are you walking your talk? Right? Are you open? Are you actually open to receive? Oh, that's going to be another topic. The art of receiving.
Ooh.
Am I receiving the support? Am I receiving the nourishment? And it's not only about receiving from out there, it's like, am I allowing myself to receive fully, like your friend, like the food coming in that I prepared with my hands, or am I just giving all away? Fuck me. This is why we see so many women burnt out, because we forget, the airline saying you put your mask on and then you put it on the little kid. What happened to that in real life or everyday life? So it's just really starting to realize for you, and we'll end on this kind of topic and I'll open it up for you if you want to share anything, but just noticing where you're at. Like, are you open in your heart? And this calls for radical honesty. This is number one practice in any healing or transformation or change you want to create in your life for yourself. You got to be super radically honest with where you're at right now. Am I actually walking my talk? Am I standing up nice and tall? Am I open to connect deeper with myself? And am I open to connect with others? And it's okay if you're not open. Like, there's no right or wrong here. It's just honoring where you're at. Meet yourself where you're at.
Yeah.
If you want to say anything on that, maybe
Yeah, this is probably one of the most difficult parts because you need to embrace all of you. Again, just look within, and it's so easy to run away from that and just get distracted in our phones and, listen to somebody else who tells you all of the beautiful things, but sometimes we need to, yeah, just to sit down and it's like quietness. Yeah, this is so important. I also find this for myself. Thank you for reminding and just like, checking in constantly with yourself of, am I actually embodying what I know, right? Am I actually holding it? For me as well, personally, a big aspect of this whole process is sharing the information. But because I was trapped in all of those beliefs and shame from old stories, I was like, no, 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 let me wait. Let me wait. I'm not good enough yet. I'm not worthy. And it all is an illusion. Even before this call, Sophia, this call is more than just a call. This is, first of all, is a medicine for others to hear, but also medicine for us to share. The calls that we are sharing here are incredibly potent. And before this call, I was like, maybe I'm not gonna do this. Maybe not today. Maybe should I do this next week? I'm tired. Oh yeah, I'm very tired. I don't have energy for this. I don't feel tired right now because this energy is very beautiful. But this thought of and belief that I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. Like, yet. There's something that I need to change. I'm like, no, I know that I'm guided and connecting with this higher, difficult to explain how that just like intuition that you're being led, connecting with this ultimate power, let's say, and you know that you trust and you fall into this with trust, this is transformational. This is what changes life. This is about quantum jumping. This is about real trust in life and in this process, even if your thoughts are telling you something. No, your intuition always knows what is right. And our power is not from our mind. I think we started with that like, let me find the meaning of life in my mind. No. The body, yes. The sensation, yes. The emotion, yes. The feeling, yes. The creation, yes. The connections, big part. Big part. The connection, the mirroring, the actual experience of seeing yourself in another and seeing God in another and seeing your shadows through another person, right? So I already forgot where we started.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Sophia, thank you so much.
This was so beautiful. It just, yeah, it it's what came out was perfect. And along your last point, it's, just speaking to that vulnerable moment you found yourself into, and I could feel into that. I was like, just probably nervous or whatnot, but realizing that it's not even about being connected to source in this moment. It's about being connected to your truth and sharing your story and allowing that to flow through in a way that feels so good to you. Like, that's really what it is, because this is when we notice we put so much pressure on ourselves, like, to get it right. But who said that you had to get it right? What is perfection? God wanted to know
Whoa.
itself through you, through your unique experience.
Big code. Keep going.
Right? So it's like, you mean my voice is perfect and I don't have to change it? Oh, but that could cause fear, right? Because it's like, well, and then our energy goes somewhere else. What would the listeners think of me if I actually shared this vulnerable truth? This is the tough part. This is the tough part, right? Again, women are wired for connection, for love. So anytime there's a perceived loss of love and connection, we freak out. And the work is, how loving and connected am I with me? And basically God, because God is me, God is you, God is everybody. How deep is my connection to God, to the universe, source? I'm using that name because we use that name. Can I trust myself
Yeah.
to just be me and trust that? And of course, people that don't resonate will leave, and that's okay. This is arguably the hardest thing for any woman on her journey. If she's truthfully on her journey of remembering who she is beneath all the noise and the chitter chatter in her mind, it's being okay with disappointment. Ugh, the D word. But know that the more you rise authentically, the more you're sharing your truth and just being you, the more people that resonate on that level will find you. But if you don't, if you're not you, then they won't find you.
Right.
The law of attraction. Hello.
Right.
You are what you emit. So, like, we brought each other into our fields, and here we are. But oftentimes there's like this part of us that's like, well, I need everybody else to accept me, to be okay with what I'm sharing. It's a slippery slope.
Do they owe us this? Does anybody owe us their approval? No, right? So, moving energy real time. This is a big topic, I would say. But it makes me think about do they owe us 1 million of views or like applauds for that? I feel like those women who will resonate, they will find, and this all container and conversation makes me just invite everybody to stretch the limits of expression and just create something from the feeling that they already know that they're worthy, no matter what of the outcome will be. This is incredible. This is incredible. If only we allow ourselves and give ourselves what we're looking for and then create from that place. It is curious to see what happens. And I think this is the new way of creation, at least for me as well. Because I also wanted to like look at me, look at me like a wounded little girl wanting attention. So it was a world of performance for me. And yeah, very beautiful colors, a lot of good people as well, but also it wasn't fully nourishing. It wasn't fully meeting me there in the depth of what is I actually am about, you know? So what if we will create this, let's say, big time new earth, okay? New earth from the feeling of I am already worthy. And I am creating this from that place. I want to paint a picture knowing that I'm a divine child of God. I want to paint a picture of I honor my sexuality and I don't need anybody's approval. I am whole. And every time we forget, because it's easy to forget, easy to get triggered, easy get, stuck in our mind about something. Just keep reminding ourselves. And that's why we need community as well, and like-minded people and women. And this work is about this. So we don't feel like I'm in the forest alone. I don't know where to go. Oh no, I have my support system if I forget. This is very, very important. So yeah, maybe we'll do a beautiful. Are you doing any retreats? Because I would love to offer retreats as well for women and like more shamanic
Mm.
singing, dancing, forest, cacao.
Mm-hmm.
Even without all of this, taking all of this away, just the container
Mm-hmm.
that we deeply honor our truth, we connect deeply with ourselves, we celebrate each other, we support each other, and we just being women. Free, wild women. Oh, I don't know, maybe next time I would like to speak with you about the witch wound because I feel that's a big code
Yeah.
that you also hold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
So
spoke about it a
much
little bit. Yeah, we spoke about it a little bit with the fear of being seen, but for sure that could be another rabbit hole. I'll add it to our list.
rabbit
But for
hole.
now, I'm just checking the time, and I think this is a beautiful place to wrap up. And you mentioned already retreat. I know you have an awesome retreat coming up. If there's anything else that you want to share the listeners about what's coming up on your end, feel free right now, and I'll put all the links in the description.
Yes, welcome and join to my Instagram page. There are going to be new offerings in this year, new containers for women, retreats in Canada, maybe outside of Canada. Um, I would love to host containers with dance, but it's for those who feel like they want to step out of the performance to deep liberation, somatic experience, tribal dance fusion, belly dance, erotic expression in a safe space. It's going to be in Ottawa, Canada. If you're watching this from any other places, let me know as well. So my Instagram page is where you can find me and connect with me if you want. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, thanks again for being here, Anastasia. Honestly, this conversation took some depths. It took us to a deep feminine remembering. It's really about that. And yes, it was a verbal remembering, but know that the transmission is already being worked into your DNA, into your bones, even if you're cooking while listening to this, or you're driving, or you're listening to this laying down. Like, just allowing the words to work their magic. Maybe listen to this again, share it with a friend, colleagues, or family members. But definitely come into the embodied experiences, whether with Anastasiia or with me, or maybe together at one point. Um, but that's really where you get to experience in flesh and bone what we're talking about. And that is, doesn't just stay as a concept in your mind, you're actually like in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This
Thank you
beautiful.
for this ceremony, Sophia. I appreciate you so much. So much. Wow.
Likewise. We'll have another chat for sure. So
Yes.
stay tuned if you
Yeah.
want to dive
Ladies,
into another rabbit hole.
yeah. Drink a lot of water. I'm gonna drink a lot of water after this.
Yeah.
It's hydration.
Drink water, go
Yeah.
for a walk,
Keep
clear your
being
mind.
wild. Remember who you are. If you need
Mhm.
support, we are here. We are all are one. We are all are one.